In 2001, Mike Myers set out to make Austin Powers Gold member as a tribute to his late father, Eric. But Mike had no idea just how personal the project would become.
One particularly huge day when we had a lot of cameos show up, insanely, hugely famous cameos, was the day that George Harrison died. I'd never met him, but it hit me hard, you know, and so I was crying in the car, you know. It was really huge, you know. And then there's this big day with all these cameos. I got a call that this famous private investigator needs to talk to me. And I thought, wow, you know, George Harrison, cameos, shooting a movie to begin with, and now I have to meet this private investigator. I was like, okay. So we shot the day, and it was really an amazing day. We gave a little bit of moment's silence for George Harrison. And the day was over, I got a knock on the door, this private investigator's here, and I'm like, you know what, I really don't want to deal with this. But it turns out that the private investigator was giving me the last letter that George Harrison ever wrote, which was to me.
What?
He'd gotten so ill, he had stopped writing about a month and a half before he passed away. But he had written a note wanting to know if he could get a Mini-Me doll, and that he was a big fan. So this movie, for me, that was very early on in the movie, and I felt kind of blessed by him. So I immediately had it framed in one of those, like, no kidding, what I think the Constitution is framed in, one of those type of frames. And I look at it every day, and it blows me away that he wrote, and it was an amazing letter.
How strange is it to realize somebody that had such an influence on you and affected you, and that you are this significant episode in their life, to be the last letter that he ever wrote? It's
mind-boggling.
Yeah.
I mean, you know, you don't know what the Beatles were in my house. I mean, they were everything. Liverpool's kind of poor-ish, and it's rough. It's a you know, a port town, and all of a sudden, it was cool to come from this town, you know. And so my parents were eternally grateful, and me and my brothers are the only people in my gene pool that aren't Liverpudlian. So it's just been this huge thing. And so to get this letter was unbelievable. It hits you. It actually can knock you off your feet and make you have to sit down for 10 minutes.